Good Tuesday, and today I have my co-host Zanaya. She's back with me today. And how are you doing today?
Good.
That's good, sweetie. And yesterday, she was my guest. Today she's my co-host, and I hired her on as the co-host because she's such an amazing person, and so I couldn't, afford to lose her. So I just hired her. And how does it feel to have a job?
Good.
Oh, good. She's going to be working the rest of her life now. She's just starting really early. Hey, let's just get right back into the text. In James chapter 4, yesterday we kind of talked about why it is, what was the source of arguments, and what was the source of conflicts. And we basically said that the source of all that stuff is us, that it's inside of us that causes conflicts and arguments. And today, we want to pick up that theme that James has started here in chapter 4. In verse 4 it says, "You adulteresses, do you not know that friendship with the world is hostility towards God?" In plain words, James is comparing what we do as Christians to someone who commits adultery with their spouse. That's pretty strong, isn't it? What he's saying is this. He goes on to say, he explains it. He said, "Therefore, whoever wishes to be friends or a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God." John, who was one of the 12 apostles, the one who would always describe himself as the one whom Jesus loved. He wrote this in 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. He says, "Do not love the world nor the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him," or in her. In plain words, he's saying for people who they get their eyes focused on the world constantly. I want this and I want that and I want the other thing. And we're driven by our lust and our envy. He says that the love of the Father is not in them. And so it becomes a check mark as to if you're really committed to the cause of Christ. He goes on to say, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the boastful pride of life is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away, and also its lust. But the one who does the will of God lives forever." In plain words, what he's saying is, don't get wrapped up in the world and the things that the world has to offer. I had a discussion this morning with my mom. She called earlier, and we were trying to get her set up with some technology. And one of the things, she started talking about was, this coronavirus and all that it means in the world and all those things. And I told her, I said, "Mom," I says, "honestly, I don't really worry about this kind of stuff. I don't really worry, so much about the political stuff, although I think it's so corrupt, and I think that what's happening today is it's wrong. But here's why I don't really worry about this stuff. Because my kingdom is not of this world. When I became a Christian, my kingdom became part of the kingdom of heaven." The other day, Zanaya, you gave your heart to Jesus, didn't you?
Yes.
And it's so amazing because now your kingdom is not of this world. Even though you're living in the United States, you have a background from Puerto Rico. You're just like an international celebrity. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is that your kingdom is of heaven, right? And your master and your leader is Jesus now, correct?
Yes.
And so what John is trying to say to us is that, listen, don't get wrapped up in the world and don't worry about the world. He goes on to say this. He says, "Children, it is the last hour. And just as you've heard that Antichrist is coming," we've all heard about the Antichrist, right? 666, boom, 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 that whole thing. We know that, right? He said, "Even now, many Antichrist have appeared. For this we know it is the last hour." He says, and he goes on to say, "They went out from us," meaning the church. "But they were really not of us. For if they had been of us, they would have remained with us." You see, one of the things that John says is this, is that we need to realize and recognize that faithfulness to God means everything. And so John tells us that. James tells us that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to end with this. James says this, Verse 5. Or do you not think that the scriptures speak to no purpose when it says, He jealously desires the Spirit which He has made to dwell in us? God is jealous for us. He wants us to be part of His family. He wants us to be part of His eternity. And so, this afternoon as we close this, here's the encouragement I have for us. Where is your focus? Is it with the Lord or is it in the world? God's calling us. Please, 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 He says, put your eyes on me. Have a great day.